Understand, after centuries in space, only the most devout among us still anticipated a happy end to the migration. The rest agreed with the various prophets of doom who reminded us how it would feel as our life support shut down. Drifting, choking, freezing in eternal darkness. Most of us hoped only to die naturally before the air ran out, or the processed algae tanks dried up, or before another engine failed, or the Ark collided with a space rock. A diet rich in anti-anxiety medication helped us to disregard our fears. Dominion training did the rest. Because the chances of finding a safe, warm harbor in the eternal black vacuum were minimal. We knew that. Yet we trained every day of our lives, as if our lives depended on it. We trained to wage wars on the inhabitants of other planets. Our survival depended on our readiness for battle. We kept our weapons polished and ready to use. Our first inclination was to shoot. In the playback, you can see how the little reptiles' display looked more like self-sacrifice, something we overlooked, because we knew it was impossible. These were creatures lacking in all but the most basic intelligence. Born and raised in nature's slum regions, nurtured on the lower slopes of evolution. Unthinking, unfeeling engines of flesh and hide, driven by instinct, driven by hunger. They were specimens, obstacles in our path, nothing more. That much, at least, was clear. Our epic pilgrimage through cold, dead space, from a world gone rotten, our unique, mythic destiny. These things gave us the right to stay alive, whatever it took, whatever that meant. Our whole culture agreed on that, all, except Shell.
Science team, report to Central Laboratory. Proceed with specimen scan.
Bloody-minded scientist Shell.
Everyone needs to see this. No longer capable of natural reproduction, we grow our children in jars. With each new generation, more sickly, more frail than the last. But what if we could fortify our DNA with a more vigorous alien strand? Today, we're going to find out if that's possible.
Bionegative.
I see it. What did we expect? Here! Oh, great celestial engineer, the light. The light is green. This changes everything. So, the mammal specimen tested biopositive. We, in this world, are compatible, as the Holy Manual promised. Praise the engineer for his guidance.
Let's not forget the hard work of the Navigator cast, Administrator Goal.
You've done your job, Fen. Leave the blood and guts to my soldiers. The real challenge is only beginning. It's our job to make sure our seed can take root and thrive. Scout Commander Kit.
The green biopositive indicator tells us the mammal species are viable gene carriers. But we have a problem. The mammals won't survive long enough to incubate our young in any numbers. Not while giant flesh-eating reptiles are dominating the ecology.
Sir, we're agreed. Dominion. Dominion is go.
My intention was never to challenge Rogue's authority. You wanted me to see this? These are lizards, Scientist Shell. Primitive saurians. I see a brain the size of a whisker tip.
And yet, they have armor, tools, decorative tattoos, ritual scarification, clear suggestions of rank, hierarchy, even social networks. So, I found deeper, more complex brain structures. There's way more to this native population than meets the eyes. Potentially, they are capable of communication, planning, maybe even fighting wars.
I don't expect them to do anything but die. If you come across anything else that might help us wipe them out, we'd be grateful.
Wipe them out? These reptiles have ruled this world for 150 million years, at least. Observing them can teach us things about how to live here that we might never learn on our own. Dominion is a rapid genocide doctrine. Before it starts, before we plunge headlong into a conflict we have no precedent for, give me some time to prove these lizards are intelligent.
There's a reason for Dominion. Our numbers are limited. Survival depends on striking quickly and decisively, with no regrets.
The world we left behind choked itself on its own waste because our ancestors thought they could exist apart from other forms of life. What's the point? I thought you were different from Roke. Exterminating an unknown species. Wrecking a planetary ecology. Expect consequences, Commander.
Scientist Shell, please, don't complicate my simple life with this, Shell. It would be an error if I did not say that all my actions from that moment on were premeditated to regain Shell's favor. What I did next, I did for her. That was something else the monster and I had in common. Perhaps. Except that monsters know nothing of finer emotions. They have no word for loyalty or loss. No name for love. But they had developed and specialized over hundreds of millions of solar cycles, and Shell was right. They were much smarter than we thought. We were a population of 25,000, and they were countless. Expect consequences, she said. We had woken dragons. There was no need to translate. The meaning of the awful roar that hollowed out the night was easily understood in any language. It was a declaration of war.